Hello everyone, welcome to our new video. This is the fourth part of the series where we are going to create the dynamic slave for the Jenkins inside the Kubernetes cluster. So if you have not watched the previous three parts, I will be suggesting you to go through those three parts, because in the first part we have gone through the introduction. In the second part we have covered the minikube installation and Docker installation and kubectl for interacting with the Kubernetes cluster. Now in the third part, we have basically created the NFS server, we have created the volume, and we have created a persistent volume and the persistent volume claim. And we have done the Jenkins deployment and created the Jenkins service. So this is what we have covered till now. In this video, we are going to cover about the exposing the Jenkins installation that we have done in the previous video and how to make the use of the Kubernetes plugin which is available in the Jenkins for creating the dynamic slaves. Okay, so let me share my screen now. All right, so this is our Kubernetes cluster. Now in order to expose this Kubernetes cluster, because it's having a private IP, I will be using the Nginx because we are not having the VPN. Otherwise, I would have used the VPN to directly access this private IP. So I'm going to create a Nginx and I'm going to use the reverse proxy in order to access the uh, Jenkins that we have created. Okay. Now, in order for us to run uh, access this Jenkins dashboard using Nginx, we will first have to install the Jenkins on our system. Okay, so we will have to first install the Nginx on our system. So let's install the Nginx on our system now. In order to install Nginx, I will be exit out of the vagrant user and I will be using the app to install Nginx. I will say apt install Nginx. Okay, that is going to install the Nginx on the system. So the Nginx installation is going through. Install the Nginx. Now once you have installed the Nginx, next we have to configure the Nginx in such a way that whatever request comes on the port number 80, it automatically gets to the cluster at the specified port, that is the node port on which the container has been exposed. So what you can do is just go inside the cd /etc Nginx and it says sites available. So go under the sites available. Now under this, you should find a default directory. Go under the default directory. Now under the default directory, just create an additional configuration. So I will be creating a server configuration where we are going to proxy the request on the cluster Kubernetes cluster. Make sure that you paste it at the top level so that your request is served first. Otherwise, you might see the default page of the Jenkins. So you will need to run kubectl cluster-info command that will run through the vagrant user. So you can switch to the vagrant user and just run kubectl cluster-info. Okay, this is your cluster IP. Just copy this cluster IP, exit out of vagrant and go inside the edit the default configuration which we were previously editing and make sure that you paste the correct IP here. Okay, so just replace the IP and you also need to specify the port number. So port number, you will again have to switch to the vagrant user and run kubectl get all inside the Jenkins namespace. Okay, there you get this port number 31776. Just copy this, exit out of vagrant, go in the default configuration and replace the port number. Now once you have replaced the port number, you can go ahead and save this configuration. You can verify. Now one more thing, in order to make this effective, make sure that there is a soft link has been created under the sites enabled default. Okay, so let's check this file. So this is not a soft link. Okay, it's the soft link is not there. So what I'm going to do is I will move this default under the temp directory. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a soft link from we are already under the sites available, so I will just create a soft link from here to the sites enabled directory under the default. Okay, now once you have created, let's verify again. I can say ls-ld, and if I do now, you will see that it is actually pointing to the default under our sites available. Okay, now once you have done this, you can run Nginx-t to verify if there is configuration issue. All right. Let's come out of it, and now let's verify once more. We can say etc Nginx sites enabled and default. All right. I will be unlinking this one because it should be complete path. Okay, that is why that error is coming. So if I check again, so right now there is no such file. So what I will do is I'm going to link this. I will give the absolute path. So I will say ln-s to create a soft link, and I'm going to point sites available default to sites enabled default. Okay. Just run this command, verify once more that it points to the site available default. Okay. Now go ahead and check the Nginx configuration. So this time you see the Nginx configuration is successful. So go ahead and reload the Nginx. I can say Nginx-s reload. So Nginx should be running now. Now what we can do is we can go into the browser, and once we are into the browser, we can go to the public IP of this host. Okay. So I will, this is the, I'm using the Chrome browser. Go ahead and open the public IP of the host. All right, so it has served the Nginx. Now what I'm going to do is one more change that I will be making is I will go inside the etc Nginx sites available. Okay, and I will go inside the default, and here I will be just commenting out this other configuration. Okay, just comment out the older configuration. Whatever is uncommented, just comment that out. Now once you have commented that out, just save this, run Nginx-t again on the line number 84. Okay, let's say SENU on the line number, yeah, we have to close this as well because we have uncommented it on top. So now if I run Nginx-t, configuration is successful, so I can reload it. I can say Nginx-s reload. Now once I have reloaded it, if I refresh this again, so you see this is the Jenkins dashboard. Now this Jenkins dashboard has actually loaded from the Kubernetes pod that we have created. Okay, so we have successfully able to access and expose our Jenkins and able to access it using the Nginx. Now, once you have done this, you are able to open this. We will have to perform certain steps in order to configure the Kubernetes to use the dynamic slaves. Okay, but for now we are going to cover this part till here for exposing the Jenkins, and we are going to configure the Jenkins in our next part, where we are going to install the Kubernetes plugin and do some configuration in order to create the dynamic slave. All right, so thanks everyone for going through this video, and we are going to continue on the dynamic slave creation in the Jenkins in the next video. Thanks everyone.